With the reveal of the starters for Winds and Waves, there's been a discussion about Pokemon starters and how they've changed over the years and how they've become a lot more bipedal and more humanoid and all that other stuff. The bipedal thing is actually kind of funny because you look at the old stars, there's a lot of bipedal ones. I don't know why they started complaining about it in recent years, but whatever. But yeah, it's mostly more humanoid stuff. Like, people are like, is Pokemon just furry bait now? And they said it started really at Gen 6 onward. And yeah, looking at all the starters, you definitely do see a shift from Gen 6 onward a little bit. But I don't think it's in the way that people think it is. Pokemon just didn't wake up one day and was like, oh, let's make a furry bait or something like that. No. What happened is they started basing their starter Pokemon on more than just animals. Like, you look at the stuff before Gen 6, they're clearly just animals usually, except for the few outliers. Like, I'm not sure what Blaziken's... Blaziken's probably the most humanoid starter we got before, Gen 6. But obviously they're all based on animals and stuff, and you can tell what animals they're based on and everything like that. But at Gen 6 onward, they started basing them on more things, like Delphox is a witch, Greninja is a ninja, obviously. Incineroar is a wrestler. What's his name? Decidueye. Yeah, that's his name. I knew it started with a D. Decidueye is an archer. Cinderace is a soccer player. Inteleon's a secret agent. Meowscarada is a masked, circus performer kind of thing. You just see what they're basing these things on more than just animals is what they're doing. They're kind of it was a bit. I guess you could say it is a bit of a change of design philosophy, but not just towards furry bait. And we still got animals. We still have Primarina and Rillaboom and Skeledirge, who are all clearly just animals and stuff. So we still get that stuff. And it's not like they completely changed their design philosophy. You look at all the 1,000 plus Pokemon, there's still more ones based on just animals and stuff than others being humanoid. Like, there's really not that many humanoids when you really look at it. It's just that they get a ton of attention for whatever reason. Well, okay, we know the reason, but, you get what I'm saying. It's not like this is a big thing going on in Pokemon. It's just, people tend to focus on it. It's laser focusing on one design aspect. But still, most Pokemon are just animals most of the time. So yeah, we'll see what the new starters are like, but I just think it was kind of funny looking back at it. It's like, yeah, it did change since Gen 6, but just because they decided to, I guess, broaden their design philosophy a little bit, not just basing things on animals, just on other things that just happen to be, human things, Yeah, it makes you wonder, if they decided to take this design philosophy before Gen 6 and applied it from the very beginning, would we still have these kind of starters that are more animal-like? I don't know. I guess you could say Emboar's kind of like that. A little bit, But like I said, Gen 6 is where it really started to take off. But I have no problem with humanoid, Pokemon and stuff. I have no problem with animal-like Pokemon. As long as it's well-designed. I don't care as long as it's well-designed and, fits the theme well. And it works, There's some good design Pokemon out there, some really bad ones out there. I don't think there's really any badly designed starters, really. There's some that are more bland than others. But I think all of them are pretty good in a way. I mean, I'm talking about final ones. There's a lot of middle stages that are not very good. And the first forms are always cute, so... I think it's fine. I think every time a new generation comes out, we always get these nothing burger controversies or whatever you want to call it. People always complaining about bipedal stuff and humanoid stuff, and I don't get it. I mean, if it's not your cup of tea, fine. But they ain't going away. It's pretty obvious that it's not going away. People are like, oh man, isn't that Pomeranian starter is going to go on? It's going to become bipedal, isn't it? It's like, yeah, it is. And it's like that gecko one's going to become some kind of sexy woman one, because the way it is probably like Primarina. It's like, yep, you can't stop it. It's we know it already. We know the song and dance. You can't stop it. Kind of pointless to complain about it, but it's much like Pokemon in general. It's pointless to complain about it because it's going to keep doing its own thing. It's going to continue to scam us with two versions of the same game, all that stuff. So it's pointless to complain about it, but we do anyway. Yeah, tis the fate of the Pokemon fan. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about it, and I'll see you next time.